Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, Despair. In the last episode, the students figured out what the true cause of Nagito's death was. He wasn't killed by the spear, he wasn't killed by the knife wounds, he wasn't killed by the fire, he was killed by the poison that he breathed in. Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning.
The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Sir, you say so what, but how did he breathe it in? That's the follow-up question. If he died via poisoning, how did he breathe it in? Because he didn't have any arms free to release it, so someone else must have. Think it through, Kazuichi. Think it through.
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
Again, how did he deploy the poison?
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right, all the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
No, there are still more questions.
Well, but...
What? There's still more?
I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Oh no, he wanted you all to die. That was his goal. He wanted everyone to die and the traitor to live. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
And that kind of thinking will get you all killed. Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish this here? No, that can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
There we go. An unwitting accomplice, but... Huh?
Chiaki, what did you just say? If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
And if you remember on the poison bottle, it stated that it had to be stored in either a glass or plastic container. And y'all didn't find that. So, you know, that is a major question that should be answered. If Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, then the thing that would have been left behind is the meat on the boat! No, it's the container.
I see!
Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
It says so on the bottle.
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container, away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
Then you would have found evidence of melted plastic, which you did not find.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate. Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice!
That is impossible! I mean, an accomplice? It is just two!
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
How? Ooh, what's this? Some melted plastic? I'ma just take it for my collection. What?
Ah, you're right! You're totally right! That's totally it!
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired. Tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I want to just rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here has to get hurt. But...
That's no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga! Still, that's pretty messed up!
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right?
No. No, because there are unanswered questions that indicate that it wasn't a suicide. If there was an accomplice, where did the container go? Guys, think it through. Think it through, people. Follow Hajime's lead.
Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
No, because the accomplice didn't realize they were an accomplice, making them a murderer.
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing.
And thinking like that is gonna get you killed.
And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
Akane just solved this, guys. I just want to talk for a minute on all of the ultimates, aside from Chiaki, but Chiaki doesn't really count because she's an AI. All of the ultimates that Nagito was like, oh yeah, you're the hopes for the future, you're amazing, blah blah blah. They're all like, okay, we're done now, it's a suicide, let's just give up. And the guy without an ultimate is the one going, no, there are still unanswered questions here. What was Nagito up to? This doesn't make any sense. Why would he just commit suicide? Like, what was his motivation? Like, the guy with no talent is the one saving the day here. And here's the thing, that's been the case throughout the entire game. And in part, that is because we are playing as Hajime. If we were playing as Akane, I guarantee she would suddenly get a whole lot more competent, shall we say. There'd be less front-tail talk, and Hajime would be more of a background character, but he has been so present, and Nagito completely ignored him at the end there. As soon as he realised that he was a talentless agent of despair, Nagito was so dismissive of Hajime, and Hajime has been so dismissive of himself. You know, I'm not an ultimate, therefore I'm worthless. I am so inferior because I do not possess an ultimate ability, that he's completely ignored his strengths. He's completely ignored the fact that he does have more freedom than these people, and he should be grateful for that. He's ignoring the fact that he is incredibly bright and determined. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Again, it all comes down to his lack of confidence. He feels like without an ultimate talent, he is worthless, but he has so much worth. He is the one saving everyone's asses here. And he can't see it because he doesn't have that title. That is incredibly sad. Yeah, there you go. What is this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a new clue. From there, I might be able to reach the answer. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was... Hangman's Gambit. Fire grenade. Oh. We need an N. Oh, bugger. A. Oh. N. No, wait, we want a D. Excuse me, I'm getting confused. There we go.
I got it!
And breathe.
I see. I got it.
Huh?
The fire grenades. Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Which means that one of you used the fire grenade canisters and inadvertently murdered his ass.
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone.
It was secretly brought.
Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but... the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
And what was it that we found under Nagito's bed? It wasn't his porn stash. It was a little blue piece of foil or something.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Hajime. Could it be?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
Sonia's words contain a clue that the contents of a fire grenade were swapped with the poison. We want the foil thing. Yep, piece of blue paper.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
He wouldn't want to die too soon.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right?
How? He didn't have any spare hands, and he's not going to be able to use his front tail to do that.
So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide! Enough already!
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
How did he smash it?
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You finally realized.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
That it is a murder after all.
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison were the same? Could that same moment be, it's when we all threw the grenades? We did it.
I see!
Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
One of us.
Indeed.
What the heck?
One of us threw the poison grenade that killed Nagito?
And there is no way for any of you to tell, because it relied purely on Nagito's luck. That was a cracking plan. That was an absolutely phenomenal plan. Here's the thing, the trial hasn't even ended yet. This was the best chapter. I don't care what happens after this. This has been the best chapter of the game. Of the first two games, I would argue it was a really well-written mystery, and whoever concocted this, I applaud you, because this was fantastic.
Hold on a sec. Then Nagito was...
Murdered.
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
What the heck? But you said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
There is no way of knowing. Not for certain, but if we're going off Nagito's luck, then it would have to be Chiaki. She is the traitor.
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Huh? The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was, it was Nagito.
I see!
It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poisoned grenade?
The person who set the warehouse fire was Nagito.
I see!
That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
The reason Nagito set the warehouse on fire, it was to make someone throw the poison. To make someone kill him.
I see!
Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why'd he do that?
To force a murder that none of you would ever commit.
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poisoned grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
You might as well ask the wind, love. No one can answer.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Huh? Could it be... Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do. And for that reason, he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
What? What the hell?
It's genius, right? It's genius. It's twisted, but it's genius.
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
And isn't that just so Nagito? Nagito wasn't terrifying because he was physically imposing or because he had some like amazing fighting technique. He's the ultimate swordsman or anything like that. He was scary because he was clever and he could manipulate you without you even realizing it. That was Nagito's strength. And it's beautiful.
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poisoned grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point. All the fire grenades we threw at the curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison.
Ooh. Don't mind if I do.
And then...
Hold on! If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault he let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
I think we're gonna need to go to Monokuma on this one for clarification.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Because that's the trixiest one. He's not gonna let you get away with the easier answer.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, he is.
That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us that there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved. As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces. For those of you who believe there are no unsolvable mysteries, that is when you finally taste despair. Meaning, he used all of the prior class trial verdicts to prepare this trick.
It's perfect. It's perfect. This was an absolutely fantastic final case. Don't get me wrong, the final case with Mukuro was really good, but it was all one massive callback to the very beginning of the game. This one actually takes elements from all the previous cases and kind of wraps them all up in a nice, neat little bow and presents it to the player, and I think that is really cool.
Not all mysteries can be solved. Such a devious trick he played on you, as expected of Nagito.
That's totally messed up. That's so fucked up.
It is my fault, because I told you all about the fire grenades. I am so sorry. Please vote me as a killer.
That's not the fucking issue here!
It's not Miss Sonia's fault. This is all Nagito's doing.
But what should we do? How can we even figure out who the killer is?
You really can't. In a way, you just have to trust Nagito's luck. And Nagito wanted the traitor to be the killer. So your next goal is discover who the traitor is. However, that will have to wait until the next episode. So until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.